Throughout my childhood, it was like I had a protective shield that kept me from realizing we were surrounded by chaos and sadness. I disappeared into stories. I used to write books and movie scripts and poetry. My younger sister would sit beside me and wait for me to write a chapter, and then she would read it and critique me to the best of her ability as a 10-year-old. I often wrote about girls who were magical or royal or who were moving, and they didn't have dads, or if they did, their dads either loved them a lot or really sucked. Their moms were always super lovely. The main characters were all versions of me who were better or braver or stronger, or who were surviving under similar circumstances. My stories kept me safe when I couldn't be. When my mom finally left my dad, the fog kind of cleared, and I think we all started to realize just how messed up our lives had been. I finally had a moment to breathe, but it was hard to accept the air when I had been suffocating for so long. I wasn't used to it, and I'm still not. I became really depressed and suicidal and anxious. I felt guilty for things I couldn't control, and I blamed myself for everything that my mom had gone through. I got really silent and stopped being able to talk to people around me. A couple years later, my best friend dragged me to the hospital because she was really worried, and that was the first time my mom was informed that something was wrong. I wanted to keep it secret from her until I had fixed the problem, to keep her safe so she didn't have to feel responsible when she'd already sacrificed so much for my sisters and I. But I was breaking, and it was overwhelming and dangerous. Around that time, I'd gotten into spoken word and was getting used to using art to communicate and connect with people instead of just to escape. When my mom came to the hospital, I couldn't really talk because I was embarrassed, so I'd written down all the reasons I was there in my sketchbook. It was hard watching her read my thoughts, but we needed to communicate, and I needed to be honest. I think we spent a lot of time constantly protecting each other from an outside force, that we never acknowledged the internal dangers we might face. My mom heard me when I wrote to her that night, and she hasn't stopped listening since, and I haven't stopped speaking.